All right, for what feels like forever, we've been told the future is in the cloud, right? Well, what if that future is already kind of old news? There's this quiet revolution happening, and it's pulling all that insane power from some server far away and putting it right back where it belongs, in your hands, on the very device you're probably watching this on. I mean, this quote it nails it, doesn't it? It's the perfect way to think about this trade-off we've all silently agreed to. Yeah, the cloud is super convenient, but we can't forget what's really going on. All our stuff, our data, our work, our entire digital lives are just sitting on someone else's computer, totally at their mercy. And this, right here, this is the feeling. You know exactly what I'm talking about. On the left, that's the good old days, right? Total control, your files are your files, right there, instant. And on the right, oh boy, the modern nightmare? That little spinning circle of doom. That's the feeling of being locked out of your own stuff, all because some computer 1,000 miles away decided to take a coffee break. We have all been there, and it is just the worst. Okay, so here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the problem with the cloud. Then we'll get into this cool philosophy called local first. After that, we dive into the hardware, the actual chips making this all happen. We'll have a little NPU showdown, and then the most important part, we'll figure out which one of these new powerhouses is right for you. And finally, what it all means for the future. All right, let's kick things off with the problem, and it's a problem we all know intimately. Those little everyday frustrations that we've just kind of learned to live with. As we've pushed more and more of our lives online, we've also accepted some pretty big compromises, and honestly, they're getting a lot harder to ignore. You know the drill. You're trying to hit a deadline, your Wi-Fi hiccups for like half a second, and boom, you're locked out. The app just freezes. You can't save. You can't even open the file you were just working on. The second that internet connection drops, you've hit a brick wall. All control, gone. Poof. So what if there was a better way? Well, there is. It's this idea called local first. And it's not just a product, it's a whole philosophy for building software. The goal is simple but brilliant. Give us all the awesome collaborative stuff we love about the cloud, but combine it with the rock-solid ownership and speed of old-school apps. It's literally the best of both worlds. And this is the absolute core of it. It's a total flip in how we think about our data. In the cloud-first world we live in now, the server is king. Your device? It's just borrowing a copy. But with local first, your machine holds the one true copy, the primary version. The server? It becomes just a helper, a sidekick for syncing. It's not the boss anymore. This means you actually own your stuff again. And the payoff is huge and it's immediate. You get no more spinning wheels of death because the data's already there on your machine. The internet, it goes from being essential to just optional. And the big one, you get total, ultimate control back. It's your data, period, full stop. Okay, this all sounds amazing, right? But for years, there was a catch. To bring this kind of local power to the really heavy-duty stuff, I'm talking about the AI tools that we're all starting to use every day, we were missing a huge piece of the puzzle, the hardware. I mean, trying to run that kind of AI locally would just obliterate your battery. We needed a totally new kind of chip to pull it off. And guess what? That missing piece is finally here. And it's called an NPU, which stands for Neural Processing Unit. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Your computer's main brain, the CPU, is a great all-arounder. The graphics chip, the GPU, is a powerhouse for doing tons of things at once. But the NPU? It's a specialist. It was built from the ground up to do one thing and one thing only. The super specific kind of weird math that makes AI work. And because it's so specialized, it's insanely fast and efficient at it. And when I say efficient, I am not kidding. We're talking 10 to 40 times, that's 40x, more efficient than your main CPU at these AI tasks. This isn't just a small step up, it's a giant leap. This is the magic that makes all those cool, always-on AI features possible without your laptop battery dying in like an hour. So yeah, this isn't some nerdy niche thing anymore. This is the new baseline. In fact, if you've seen Microsoft talking about their new Copilot Plus PCs, a big part of that is the requirement for an NPU that can hit at least 40 TOPS. And TOPS, that stands for trillion operations per second. That's the new entry fee. The hardware has officially arrived. So naturally, with this new era of local AI kicking off, all the big names are throwing their hats in the ring. We've got Intel, Qualcomm, AMD, and Apple all battling it out. So let's get to the fun part, the NPU Showdown. Okay, so here's a quick bird's eye view. Right off the bat, you can see Qualcomm is just crushing it in raw TOPS. That's our speed metric. AMD is making a strong play for compatibility. Intel's right in that sweet spot. And then you see Apple down there with a number that looks, well, a little lower. But just hang on, there's a plot twist coming. Okay, specs are one thing, but how does this feel in the real world? Let's look at something cool, like generating an AI image. And wow, these results are just wild. Look at Qualcomm's bar. It's not just a little faster, it's more than 3 times faster than Intel's new chip and almost 10 times faster than AMD's current NPU. I mean, that's not just a win, that's a blowout. But wait, it gets even crazier. It's not just about raw speed, it's about power efficiency. Check this out. To make that same image, the Qualcomm chip used less than half the energy of Apple's last Gen M3. Think about what that means for your battery life. You're getting way more speed while using way less juice. That is the holy grail. All right, but remember how I said there was a plot twist with Apple's lower TOPS number? Well, here it is. It turns out raw speed isn't everything, especially when you're talking about running those massive large language models, the brains behind chatbots. There's something else that's actually more important: memory bandwidth. And this is where Apple is playing a completely different sport. The M4 Max can be configured with up to 128 gigabytes of unified memory. That's insane for a laptop. And its bandwidth is 4 to 5 times faster than the competition. Look at those numbers. What this means in the real world is that it can run these enormous 70 billion parameter AI models locally, models that will just crash and burn on other laptops. So if you're a serious AI developer, well, Apple is in a class all by itself. So, okay, we've got a clear winner for raw speed and efficiency and a clear winner for running massive models. And then we have some great all-arounders. So that brings us to the big question. Which one of these things should you actually care about? Let's translate all these tech specs into some actual advice. Basically, it all boils down to your main workflow. If you live on a battery and just need your machine to last forever, Qualcomm is your new best friend. If you're a developer trying to run huge AI models on your laptop, it's Apple, no question. Want to make AI images as fast as possible? That's Qualcomm again. But if you're a gamer where you just need 100% compatibility with every Windows app under the sun, then AMD and Intel are going to be your safest bets. Okay, let's zoom out for a second and bring this all home. Because this isn't really just about a new chip. What we're seeing is the combination of this new hardware, the NPU, and this new way of thinking, local first. And together, they represent a massive, fundamental shift in the entire way we interact with our computers. So here's what you really need to remember. 1. The hardware for powerful, efficient local AI is finally a reality. 2. Qualcomm is the undisputed king of raw speed and battery life. 3. Apple is in its own universe when it comes to memory for giant AI models. 4. AMD and Intel are your go-to for rock-solid Windows compatibility. The bottom line? Choosing your next computer isn't just about specs anymore. It's about picking the right AI engine for the work you actually do. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. For so long, we've been told that the future lives in the cloud. But now that we have this incredible, almost unbelievable power sitting right on our desks, right in our laps, you have to wonder if the tide is turning. Is the future of AI going to be out there on someone else's computer? Or is it going to be right here in the palm of your hand?